and capture this. I have a few members who are out and about today, but
yep.
Our objective here was to refresh now, since our team is relatively new to the Home Depot purchasing process. Doug's going to kind of get us some tips and tricks and make sure we're following the process and making it as easy as possible on ourselves and on him. So Doug, take it away. Let you.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys all for allowing me on today, but I'll jump into it. So we have a new system. I was able to go ahead and meet with the team who designed Pro Assist. So Pro Assist is a program that will make your guys' ordering process to us easier. So I'll jump into it. So basically, when you guys go to send like a list over to myself or to Michaela, and I'm going to share. Depot.com. Share. Okay, so can you guys see the screen? Okay, so jumping in, when you guys log in, it's going to say welcome back. And I guess, do they make it live? They don't. Okay. So if I'm moving and opening up, can you guys see this?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, cool. So, so this will be when you guys log in. I think you guys all got invites to log into HomeDepot.com. So what you're able to do is jump in and let's say we're looking for ceiling tile today. So you'll be able to see that the store in this particular store is like Pennsylvania, because that's where I was working. So they've got 10 available in stock. And you're like, hey, I need 2 bundles. So you're going to add that to your cart. And then, oh, hey, we need a faucet. So you'll scroll down, take a look at the faucet that you want to order. And let's say this guy, they've got 33 in stock. And like we need 3 of them. So you're going to add that to your cart. So once you're done kind of shopping, what you're going to do, is you're going to jump into your cart. And then you'll scroll down. And at this point, like if you guys wanted to like check out, you can yourself. What you're going to see is you're going to see tier pricing, right here. But if you're going to send this over to me for extra additional pricing and discounts, you're going to scroll until your screen moves. There we go. So you're going to see this create a quote right here. We're going to do test. We'll name it test run and a job name of test run. So what I want to be able to do is once we're on that test run, so you've named it, now you're going to hit save, okay? So now each and every single one of you guys, when you're doing this, if it's the Brown job or the Brown residence or whatever, give it a job name. Now you guys have created a live document right here. So now you're going to get a quote number, right? Hey, we need to get this over to the insurance company, right? But we want to be able to just have, like, not show any discounts or anything like that. So what you're able to do at that is when you email, so up to the email tab. So keep an eye right here on these prices. So if you just want price only, you can click on price only and it'll clear all and any discount. So it'll just have a straight up retail on it for you. But if you're going to email it to, let's say, Matt, like, hey, here's where we're at with the pricing, everything else. You can send the price and discounts through that. But like I said, if you're going to send it off to an adjuster or anybody, and here's my retail price on it, what I'm going to suggest everybody does is the email recipient first. Email it to yourself first, if you want, and then send it over to me, because right now it's a Home Depot email. If you're sending it to me to a Home Depot email, and I will not see, I'll see who it's coming from, but I won't see anybody's email. So it might be from Alan or from Ross or from Matt, and I'm going to see that, and I'm going to know it's from ServPro, but I may not have an email address to get back to. So you can throw an email in there, even down here. You can put your email in as well if that's easier for you guys. But I would say for right now, and for records, like if you just email it to yourself, you're going to have a copy of it in your files.
And then just to clarify, you're asking that we send it to ourselves and then forward it to you, so it's coming from our inbox and you see it's coming from Matt, I'll address that, versus generic Home Depot and you get a zillion emails.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep. And then that way we know who to address it to. Because if it's just coming from ServPro, I'm not going to know who I need to be talking to. And we've done a pretty good job, like seeing some of the stuff coming out of like New Mexico and whatnot. And so we're able to, if I have an email address, I put you guys into our profile so we know who. But I would just say if you can just email it to yourself and send it over, perfect. Now, the other thing that we can do here is if you guys get into a larger project, for example, you're able to come up to the projects tab up here, and you guys can create a project. So like this one, for example, that I created that I was playing with, just calling it Apple Turn. You're able to come down and say, okay, well, hey, for this project, we need flooring or we need toilets. So you're able to just select, like if you've gone through and you put a bunch of items in there, hey, but right now we just want to purchase flooring. You can click on the box and then add to the cart and done. Or
in that case, just to make sure I'm clear as well, we'll get the standard pro discount if we add it to the cart and buy it, but we could get a better discount if we forward it to you and say, hey, can you do better?
Yep.
Roger.
Yep. And if you look like this particular customer I'm on, like right now, like here's the preferred pricing. So this is like you guys walking into the store or even just purchasing on your own. You've saved, I think, 15% on it, for example. Or, if we need to up it to 75, up it to 75, and being able to save more on it. So the projects are nice because with that, you're like, hey, what's my project total? So if you guys are adding material into it, it's going to give you a running total of what it's at in the project. And then once it sells, your estimated total will change because now you're selling out of your project on there, if that makes sense. And then you guys can also see, like, anytime we jump in and we build a quote for you guys as well, you'll have the ability to see who it was created by. So if you send a request and you're like, oh, hey, did that get done yet? Or I haven't seen an email come back from Michela or anybody, you can jump into this at any point as well and take a look at it and view, like this particular customer, we're working on a quote right now for electrical. But this is on their account profile, so they can see where we're at right now and then have the ability to take it and check out if needed. But what I did find out, anytime like we are doing an excessive markdown on it, it won't allow the team to check out. So Michela will have to call you guys and then process the transaction on it. We have any questions so far?
Anyone from the team? Okay, keep going.
Okay, so and I happen to jump into your guys's info, and so these are like kind of all the cases we've been working. And then I think Eric in Portland had one.
Yeah, I did some material. I was about to send you another one here in the next hour or so with some cabinetry. So
I'm already ahead of you.
okay, I like it.
That's the one I'm on.
Okay.
Can you see this one?
No.
Okay, let me share it. Present something else. And share. Okay, there we go. So I think this was your cabinet order that came through.
Yes, sir.
So when I jumped into it, it was sitting at 20 grand. So was able to go in and process some markdowns. So was able to take off like $6,500 on it and get it down to like 14 grand.
I mean, that's great. Also, with the guy there told me that there was like a sale going on or a special.
Yep.
That at the point of purchase, it would be knocked down 30%. I
Yep.
take it that's also included in that, or is that better than the 30%?
So like, let's see, like right now, let me see if I do the pay now, see what happens. Come on, computer. What are you telling me? Why do we need that? Eric, what's your cell?
971 282 9476.
Let's see what happens. So 14 grand. I'm just kind of curious. I don't ever get into the money taken part of it, so yeah, so the 14 grand I think would be it. But so it's 35%. Let's look. But being able to get in there for you guys like that, so 20,575.10 minus 35. Yeah, so like 13,373. I'd have to take a look at that one. But being able, so I wanted to use this as an example because I think the store wrote this up for you.
Yep.
Yeah, so store didn't notify me, hey, Doug, we've got a $20,000 order for your account. So I have the visibility to go in and see what you guys are working. Because I mean, this, for example, if it wasn't 35% off, like they might have just emailed it to you and said, hey, here's your price at 20 grand. And you're be like, hey, custom cabinets has it at a better price. So that's where I need you guys to let me know, like, hey, I need cabinets. You know, we priced it out and everything else. So just give us a heads up because I know you guys are all into the stores, but if we don't know about it, you know, you guys might be paying a higher price on it. So me now being able to have the visibility of jumping into everything you guys are doing at a store or online with the PAE, that gives us the ability to help you guys out and save more, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. I got a question for you. This might throw you off a little bit. I also got a quote for installation. Would that be, could you get like a better price for the installation?
No, on installs, I can't do anything on installs. Whether it's cabinetry or flooring. So that one is what it is because we have to pay the installers on that one.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure before I sent you that too.
Yeah, and if you guys have never kind of ever done an install, if you've never done an install with us, I was amazed, and I have contractors like, hey, let's do an install for flooring, right? For LVP. It was cheaper for us to do the install for him instead of him paying somebody to go install carpet or LVP. Because I think it was some stupid, crazy, like $149 install fee for LVP and carpet. So it was nuts. So you're paying for the product and then doing the install on that one. But so as far as this presentation, if you guys are using the Pro Assist, like I said, you'll go in, and log in, create it, send it to your cart, scroll down, give it a job name or whatever, hit the save button. That'll get that quote number, email it to yourself, and then send it over to myself and Michaela. And then that, like I said, that becomes a live document. So any changes that are made inside that document, if it's a product that might be out of stock and we might need to find a like item in the store for you, you'll see that change in the document. So what that does is that frees up your time not having to try and source other items. And that takes the confusion out of lingo. Like if you've worked with a plumber, like, hey, I need a cow's tongue. I don't know what a cow's tongue is. Oh, it's the drain on a commercial building that literally has a tongue off of it. Oh, okay. Well, now you've typed that in there. You found your drain, and it takes the confusion out. So it speeds up the quoting process as well.
Got it. Well, this has been super valuable. I think, small bite-sized pieces of how we progress in this is very helpful. I've recorded this session so I can make this available in our training content so people can refer back to it.
Yep.
So that Pro Assist, very helpful. When in doubt, ask Doug for guidance on the best available discount. Some great lessons learned.
Yeah, and the Pro Assist is still in the beta mode. So like today I called that whole team up. And I'm like, hey, you guys need to make these changes, and they're like, oh, we didn't even think about that. I'm like, well, it'll benefit the customer. So for example, like if we do a mass discount on the order and you guys are like, hey, I want to get this bought, can we just do it ourselves? So that's one of the changes I would like to be able to see is if we do a mass discount. Currently, Michela's got to call you, process payment, but we would like you guys to be able to have the ability to, once you get the approval on that project, to just pay for it yourself if you want to, and have that just make it easy for you guys to transact. So that was a discussion that I had with them today, is like the customer wants to be able, our customers want to be able to transact. Like if they want to get it bought, after hours and they're doing their work, like that's where we want to be at. So that is coming, but currently it's set with Michela to be able to process the payment if we make any bigger discounts on it.
Great.
Doug, I got a question for you real quick. So if I were to submit something on Friday and I didn't get a response from you guys, would you guys, would I have to wait till Monday, or could I expect something over the weekend? Or, sometimes, working over the weekend and I'm like, well, I need to get ready by Monday. So, I just got everything done. So I give it to you Saturday. Would I get it that same day, or would I have to wait till Monday operating hours?
Yeah. So our whole pro support team, they don't work the weekends. If it's something you need, like email me or text me or call me. I mean, I'm salaried, so I'm working. If I need to get it priced out, I will call the store and I'll have the store do it for me. And we'll just take the markdown at the store level for you. Cause we want to make sure you guys that we're not stopping you guys from working. So I'm salaried, so I work when you guys are working.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right,
So-
Doug. Well, thank you so much for joining. I've got some other topics on my team meeting agenda to get to. So,
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Good questions, Eric. I think, lots to learn as the team gets accustomed to what's going on with this program, but it looks great so far.
Let me ask you this, Matt. I mean, I know this is he off. He's off, right?
That's
What
my-
about Lowe's? Will we do the same thing with Lowe's?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to explore the account rep situation and how they can support us. We have a pro account, but you can expect some progress on that. I honestly just don't know if they offer a comparable level of service. So I'll let you know.
Roger.
All right, let's see if we got most people, a couple folks out on the road. All right, a couple other topics for the team meeting. So whip calls. I sent some feedback to James and Seth and Teresa yesterday, basically just kind of expressing some concern about the amount of time whip calls are taking, especially for the bigger markets, and how much time you all are having to spend sitting in on those whip calls. I'm told that the smaller territories, the whip calls are 30 to 40 minutes. I know in some cases, Portland has gone hours, Denver's gone hours, and I just don't think it's an efficient use of time to have every single team member sit on 2 hours a day times 3 to 4 people for some of our locations. So I just wanted you all to know that I'm working on creating more efficiency in that process. James, Seth, and Teresa are committed to helping us in that cause and finding ways to make these things more efficient. I've shared feedback about time of day that these are occurring. I hear it loud and clear in Portland, for example, that mid-afternoon is a inconvenient and unproductive time. So I hear you all, and I'm working on it. and I am more than willing to receive suggestions for things that you'd like to see different that might contribute to those whip calls going faster, being more effective, etc. So share your feedback with me, ideas, perfectly well. Would love to have more ideas. Okay, next topic. When to decline projects. I sent everybody a detailed message. I sent a subsequent message to everybody about an updated, we'll call it just like a 2-paragraph explanation that we send to customers. The CX team has been debriefed. The mitigation APMs have the information, what our criteria is. Just wanted to express that, it should be the rare exception that we have to decline, but the mitigation team doesn't get to decide on our behalf. The CX team doesn't get to decide on our behalf. The criteria is based on our judgment call and what our ability is to support any given project. So we want to be partners and collaborators with MIT and CX and everyone else, but ultimately we make the call because we're accountable to the results of those projects. Are there any questions or ongoing challenges when it comes to this topic from anyone? Okay. Next topic, estimating fees. Good. This is one that's I think rattled around a little bit. The most customary estimating fee that we've discussed is something on the order of $250 to provide an estimate. We always have the discretion to not recommend an estimating fee. If it's a property manager, commercial customer, a big project, I would err on the side of not using that. If we know we're being shopped and it's a small job, or it's just very strong indication that we're just not going to really get the job, we're just going to be doing the exercise to help them have a couple prices, yeah, throw out the estimating fee. I've also seen that there's a contingency of like 20% of the contract value. So I honestly need to find out if the interim services agreement or the original work authorization that they sign is including that 20% fee language. But in most cases, if we get to a point, we do an estimate and we want to start and they say we're going with somebody else, probably not going to collect 20% of the project for recon. At the end of the day, we want to build relationships with our adjusters, and throwing out a 20% fee for a job we don't do isn't really customary and probably not going to be received well. In the cases, from what I've heard, we don't collect it anyway. So bottom line, use your discretion when you want to charge an estimating fee. If you think you're just being shopped on your price and don't feel like it's a worthwhile time. But remember, we're selling too, and we want to win as many jobs as possible. So don't throw out the estimating fee if you think it's just going to be an impediment for us having an opportunity to win the job. Okay. Next topic on my list here. State Farm. Lucy has been joining the front end of our weekly recon project meetings to cover the State Farm jobs. I'm seeing very positive progress around the response time across the teams, our ability to get out to scopes, our ability to meet the different timelines. Lucy's helping. She's also learning some of the gray area that's inherent in this process. And so when in doubt, if you have questions and a program or an assignment job comes up, Lucy's building her knowledge base and she knows how to get answers from our corporate liaison, Nancy West. So feel free to reach out to her. I think many of you are when questions arise. So, I feel like there's really good progress, but we're by no means green across the board. So keep the priority very high when a State Farm job comes in. It is really so critical to the overall business that we maintain our good standing with State Farm for recon, which helps us maintain our good standing for mitigation as well. Okay, Lucy, you have an opportunity. Are there any items that you feel like it's important to share with the group right now as it relates to State Farm?
No, there's a couple that have came in that we need clarification, so I'll be reaching out today. But no, I think everyone has been very helpful and responsive and all that fun stuff.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate your passion around this. Go ahead, Ross.
Lucia, I actually have a question for you. So in regard to the payment process for the State Farm audit jobs, should we expect to see initial payments running through the corporate office, or should we expect to collect those initial deposits directly from the customer?
When it comes to payment, and Miss Linda, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is what I understood at one of the meetings. When it comes to payment, everything is the same as a regular project that we would get that's not audit. So the check is sent to the customer, we collect it directly from the customer. The audit that we are monitoring, I'm sorry guys, that's my baby. The audit that we are monitoring is only for the first 4 days. Once you get approved, I am out of your hair. I'm not paying attention to how you guys are running the project. So to answer your question, Ross, it would be the same as every other job. We collect directly from the customer.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I'm gonna share with you guys in the leadership channel. There's a State Farm Reconstruction questions and answers form. And there's a lot of information there on what the process is, what to expect.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Yes, thank you, Linda.
Okay. Let's keep powering through the list here and get done a little early. I missed a portion of the beginning of that training session. I apologize to everybody that it wasn't polished and prepped. I understand there were some technical difficulties with screen sharing, et cetera. And we got to the budgeting part late. I think I would like to schedule a follow-up session and go through a few more examples. So there's clarity around how to create budgets in a few different ways. How do we get to that budget number to give to customers when they need to select materials? How do we create budgets that help us maintain our margins? And to Shane's final point, when to decide if we want to ask the subcontractors for bids versus giving them a budget. I can see some pros and cons of both approaches. And in a perfect world, yes, we'd get bids from subcontractors and they'd be less than our budgets. I don't know that that happens that often, but Alan has popped on the screen. So Alan, let me know what your thought is on that topic. You're on mute, buddy.
Thank you. I learned more. Well, I shouldn't say learn. I heard more from him on, the ServPro reconstruction way for scoping, because it's different than what I've always done, but not that much different than I've ever heard from Ryan. And I hope everybody understands, how informative this guy's going to be. He's saying a lot of stuff that we've all always talked about. We just never implemented it. The other things that, Matt, I think we ought to make note of that we need to ask. I'd like to know how he avoids or keep how he negotiates with adjusters to keep stuff like the general conditions items and possibly supervision and the dumpsters and shit like that in these estimates, because we get, in the past, I mean, we just get hammered, and no, this is the way it is. I mean, I think that's part of our revenue stuff, and I don't have any experience in arguing with adjusters or going back and forth, other than a couple I've been involved with, and just having to navigate through it. I think that's key, and I'd like to know how he has seen people stopping homeowners from using the estimates and going to different line items. He said something about he had something that he puts in the contract that I like. But we get in this circle conversation with this is your flooring allowance. And then, okay, well, how come it says it and we did it with Bortles?
Yeah.
And technically what I would like to be able to do is say, hey, look, this is the estimate. But I'm telling you that out of $3.50 a square foot for your flooring material, it's $2.25. And I don't know how to navigate that, because every time we give up that, we're giving up
Yeah.
The other 20% we need to be collecting to meet the margins.
You're right. We've got to get crisper on how to handle that. His suggestion of keeping it lumped together.
Yeah.
But homeowners are getting the estimates and seeing the line item breakdown. So it's not a foolproof solution. Lucy, you have a question too on this topic?
Yes, I just want to piggyback on what Alan is saying. I took a lot from that meeting, and I have had the same issue. I'm getting my OMP shut down. I do have experience with negotiating with adjusters, but some of these adjusters are just ruthless. They will absolutely. I had one email me back and tell me there's no negotiating, and I needed to. And I was really just asking a simple question, and he basically told me, if you continue to try to negotiate, I'll shut down. It was with travelers, and he basically told me that there was no room for negotiation, and if I continued to try, that he was going to stop sending us clients. So I just didn't even reply. I'm like, whoa, I was really just asking a simple question.
And this is where Ryan, I'm sorry, Lucy, go ahead.
That's okay. No. So I'm just piggybacking on what you said.
I did it again.
It's okay, Alan. I was done. I was just piggybacking on what you said. I did take a lot from that meeting.
Good.
That thing, Matt, that's where Ryan gets the bad rap that you've heard James talk about, being argumentative with adjusters. Ryan pushes back based on Xactimate and the IICRC or whatever. He gets, just like Lucy said, he gets, I'll take you off the program. There's got to be a way to combat that.
Yeah.
Hey, look, the program's not for us to lose money.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely don't want the outcome to be that the adjusters are saying, well, I'll just kick you off. I think that there's some communication going on at Travelers, because they're difficult lately. I'm seeing lots of examples where they're just difficult. So they may have some corporate direction, like just if ServPro shows up, start kicking them in the ribs.
And maybe they just don't like us.
So, okay. So more training on line item budgeting, communicating, material allowance to customers. That's a good one.
Yeah. And then, you got down the navigating through the estimate, pricing and negotiation without pissing them off, I guess. But one other item, and I'm sorry, I hope we're okay on time. I've put out that near-term schedule and done a few trainings, not for everybody that's on here, but with several. and I don't see it being used. How do we implement this, especially Galen, with the jobs we have at Comfort Suites? It's going to happen there. We have to. The smaller jobs, it may just be you just do 1 week, but what it does is it gives these owners a perception. Hey, look, these guys got their shit together. This is what they're going to do, and also makes us hold ourselves accountable for meeting it. That will keep these jobs from going on and on and on, which affects cash flow and everything that we're struggling with.
Yeah.
So I'd like, man, if you got some ideas on how to truly implement that, or Builder Trends got scheduling stuff, and if I got to jump in and do stuff or training, I'm all for it, because all it does is help.
Yeah.
And y'all heard, what was his name, Shane?
Shane Reamer.
Yeah. You heard Shane talk about stuff, repeat stuff that I've said. When you go into a house to scope it, go into them the same way, in the same manner every time. And that way, if you get turned around or something, you can, okay, well, I always go here and then I go here. And take the extra 15, 20 minutes to make it accurate, because it saves tons of discussion and time and money down the road. I can't express how important that is. You're not saving anything by rushing through it. You're really not.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have for now, Matt.
Yeah, no, good points of feedback. I wholeheartedly agree. Better training and tools on scheduling, better and more training on line item level budgeting, communicating material allowance, and taking some more best practices from Shane. So thank you. That's very helpful. I just have a couple more items on my list here. I sent everybody a message about cash flow, and I know, I want to make sure everybody understands that I completely understand the urgency to pay subs. What happens in our situation is we have months where we just get low on the cash flow because we're just not being aggressive and invoicing when we hit our payment schedule milestones, where we have a lot in collections. We have hundreds of thousands of dollars in collections, which our PMs are actively managing every week, and I appreciate that. But when we have, $300,000-$400,000 in collections, and we get behind a little bit on some customer payments, and I'm paying subs on time, we just get in a crunch. So I just wanted to send out that reminder to everybody that it's really important to be very disciplined around getting the deposit before we start work, getting those customer payment schedules, communicating when we're reaching milestones, stop work if we're not collecting from a customer is our only form of leverage to make sure we're going to get paid. So thank you all for your attention to that. I didn't get to listen to the first part of Shane's training on scoping. Gladly invite him. He's got another partner, Steve, that I can include. I think Ryan's trainings, I think there's some really good nuggets in there, but maybe some different voices in that would be beneficial. Yeah, I think he's mostly just kind of going off the top of his head, and there's value in there, value also in maybe a bit more of a prepared list of recommendations and suggestions as opposed to the top of the head kind of training.
Hey, Matt, a quick question.
Yeah.
Would we be implying that smart sheet? I find that helpful. I used to use that a lot. It does help with just keeping everybody on track as far as scheduling. That way you don't have 20 people calling you and seeing what the job status is.
Yeah.
It's just a question we said we should use, that we should talk to you or to our superiors about implementing that into our day-to-day routine with jobs. I thought that was helpful. I've used it personally, and I think it's a really good job. It helps cutting out the middleman on asking where you're at and what stages you're at and when is what scheduled.
Good suggestion. I've used Smartsheets. I'm very familiar with it. It's a good tool. So let me look into that. If we can accomplish the same thing without having to buy a bunch more licenses and stuff, but let me look into smart sheets a little bit further and see if that's something that we can incorporate. I'd really like an all-in-one solution. There are
Right.
pros that use all-in-one solution, so we just manage all the finances and the schedules and communication and pictures in one place. But that's not happening anytime soon. Okay. Last topic that I have is just want to continue to collect any feedback or suggestions on the core orchestration with the CX team. I sent out a document last week to clarify, maybe it was this week, I can't even remember, the touch points. I think conceptually the CX team members are high-level orchestrators, a single point of contact for our customers and adjusters. But as soon as it dips into subject matter expertise and activities within the recon project, we have the full latitude to handle those transactions and communications directly with the customer. So sending project updates, change orders, approvals on estimates to adjusters. Always copy the CX team member, but let's not add a step that delays. Let's just, keep handling our business and keep them informed. And when we need their help, for sure, ask their help. But we don't want to add a whole bunch of handoffs that I think at the beginning of this thing, it looked like the CX person was going to be an octopus sending, everything for everyone. And it just doesn't scale. It's just not practical. Any feedback or suggestions or anything from the team on CX orchestration? Any questions about that?
I don't have questions. I have a request. I know our
Sure.
CX moved our meeting to 2:00 in the afternoon, 2:30 in the afternoon, which is right in the middle of build time. So that's like, and I'm trying, but it's,
I know. I already talked about that earlier in this meeting.
Okay.
I hear you.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I've already brought it up. Yeah, it's okay. I brought it up to James and Seth and Teresa. It doesn't work great. And I don't want you all sitting on a meeting in the afternoon for 2 hours. We got to find a way to solve it. So I hear you and I'm working on it.
Roger.
Hey, Kat, go ahead.
Hey, I'm being made aware again that this weekly whip cleanup meeting with Miss Rocio and Shafika is mandatory for recon. And I'm just wondering if there's any way that CX could pick up that responsibility, since we're already spending so much time with the CX updating her spreadsheet on a daily basis. Why is it pertinent that we have to sit in another meeting with another department to reiterate the same data?
Okay. Yeah, hopefully you saw my response to their recent message.
I did. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll explore that. The message that I sent to James and them was like the amount of hours of lost time of working in front of customers and for customers due to these status meetings is getting to be overwhelming. So whip cleanup, I got that on my to-do list. Okay.
Tuesday night, I spent like maybe an hour and a half updating Summit in Las Vegas because nothing was done. I thought the CX was going to start doing that and updating the workflow and work center, and nothing was done.
Okay. Lucy, thank you. Linda, I know, I get it. It's head spinning. Lucy, you had a question too?
I just want to make a quick comment. I want to say, I said I wasn't going to complain this whole week, but I just want to make a comment. Aside from having to do our web calls, Matt, I'm not sure. I know that the whole CX is new to all of us, but my CX person is asking that we update them through every single job throughout the day. I thought that our web call was to give them updates, but they want to know where my superintendent is. They want to know what job we're going next.
No.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm
no,
like
we're not doing that.
updating everyone with everything. And I kindly messaged her back and I said, I will update you in the whip call. but I can't keep updating her with every single thing I'm doing.
Yeah. Are you talking
Yeah.
Albuquerque?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I think
brought that up, Matt, in that meeting.
yeah.
I mean, that's not the role. So,
Shelby, it in the Denver North, that just kind of was one of the things that as a job file coordinator, she was keeping tabs on where everybody was at every time, and they had to check in, and so it's just a carryover. I'll address that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I've covered all my topics. I know we've done a lot of meetings today, so I'll let everybody get back to it. I appreciate the last thing I want to do is add more administrative time to the cause, so I've reduced the frequency of these team meetings. That's trying to help a little bit, but I know everybody's grinding and working really hard, so I appreciate you all, and I appreciate the constructive feedback, and keep the suggestions coming, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your day and weekend. Thank you all. Have a
Thank
great
you.
rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Matt.